Hey guys, Butler Bulldog Bill here, and basically I'm here to recap the Pittsburgh Penguins and Philadelphia Flyers series. The Philadelphia Flyers won the series yesterday, 4-2. Um, and let me just start out by saying, as much I hate the Philadelphia Flyers, just like any other Penguins fan does, but I have a lot of respect for what they did, in this series. These guys were on their game. Uh, they shut down Malkin. They made sure Crosby wasn't too big of a factor. They frustrated the Penguins so bad that the Penguins were doing everything they can to fight them, because of frustrations. They took them out of their game, made them commit stupid penalties, try to give cheap shots, all because they got so frustrated from getting dominated. Um, Claude Giroux, best player on that ice in this series. He tore us apart. Yager was, pretty darn good for doing what he did, which sucks because I feel like he should be a Penguin still. But what can you do? I would have loved to have seen him finish his career in Pittsburgh and get one more Stanley Cup. He got to help get us our first two. But apparently Yager still has it. And I didn't think he still had it when he was with the Rangers a few years back. He went over to Europe for a while to play some hockey. Now he's back. He's doing some good things with Philadelphia, I'll admit. But I guess we really didn't deserve to win that series. I bought into the hype. Well, actually, I thought that the Pittsburgh Penguins, before the playoffs even started, I'm like, man, this team's going to be dangerous, especially if Crosby comes back. Too deep, too many offensive weapons, and then the media also said the same thing. I mean, ESPN guys, even executives for teams like the New York Rangers said the Penguins were the favorites. Sports Illustrated, I think Sports Illustrated is always cursing teams. With they pick somebody to win the Super Bowl or the Stanley Cup or the World Series, and then that team gets knocked out real fast. And their Stanley Cup pick was the Pittsburgh Penguins over the Vancouver Canucks, and both teams got knocked out in the first round. So both teams started off down 3-0 in their series. So I don't know. Everybody bought into this hype thinking they were going to do it, and then they failed. They flat out failed. There's a lot of things. Don't get me wrong. I'm very proud to be a Penguins fan. I'll always be a Penguins fan. I was a Penguins fan. I've been a Penguins fan for 15 years now. That was before Crosby came, Malkin, Fleury, Stahl, all those guys. Before any of those guys came. Back in the days of, Yager, Lemieux, uh, Darius Kasparaitis, if you remember him. Herdina, just a bunch of those guys. And this team really, really disappointed me. Like, they angered me for the first 3 games of this series because they seemed like they got every time they would, they have their leads and they blow it, and Philadelphia would win the series. And then game three, even in the first 2 games when they got down by a couple goals, Pittsburgh would score, cut it to 1, and you're thinking, all right, we're back in this. And then Philadelphia would go right back down and score. And it happened like that the first 3 games. Every stinking time we got down by 2 goals and we cut it to 1, Philadelphia would go right back down and score. I was also very disappointed in our power plays. I know we did a little bit better towards the end of the series, but my God, you can't give up that many shorthanded goals. I mean, that was absolutely pitiful. I think in the first what was it, first 2 games, we gave up 3 or 4 shorthanded goals. I have never seen a team go into a power play with a one-man advantage and yet they still be at such a disadvantage. I mean, Pittsburgh sucked. Those power plays were pitiful. It was almost as if we were the ones shorthanded and we had the one-man advantage. Defensively against the power plays, we sucked. Defensively, period, we sucked because we gave up so many goals. Supposedly, Fleury was the better goalie. Fleury sucked, let's be honest. I mean, he got pulled in a lot of the games that he was in at the end there. But Philadelphia also did a great job of being there, right there for the rebounds. They had guys lined up in the right spots. You know, if a shot got deflected off Fleury or off another player, you know, come in from one side, and then there'd be a guy on the other side, and he'd just knock it right on in. Fleury would be out of position every time. For some reason, we can't do that, but Philadelphia played a lot better defense than we did. They had guys in the right spots to keep stuff like that from happening, especially on the power plays. They did a great job on that, too. But yeah, Fleury, what the crap, man. You're supposed to be a top goalie, and you let too much crap go by. You're supposed to be a top offensive team, and we couldn't even match what the Flyers did. They've got their weapons, too, so I'll give them that. The other thing that really ticked me off, I mean, this was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to be a Penguins fan the first 3 games, not because we got down 3-0 in the series and we were supposed to win it, you know, but the fact that we got so upset that Philadelphia was dominating us that we went on and decided to, you know, we got frustrated and we started getting cheap shots. You know, our players that aren't our top players, you know, lesser guys like Asham and Adams and guys like that, all of a sudden are goading the Stars on Philadelphia to try to pick a fight with them and get them ejected, as if that was some strategy to defeat Philadelphia. I don't know why you'd be proud of that, taking their stars out and trying to beat them that way. Beat them at their best, okay? But start trying to pick fights with them. You know, Crosby, cheap shots, and he's crying. Okay, here's the thing. Crosby. I'm wearing a Crosby jersey at the moment. I love the guy to death as a player, but man, a lot of the fans are right. And Pittsburgh Penguins fans aren't going to like this, but let's be honest. Everybody in the league says Sidney Crosby is a crier. And Penguins fans are the first to jump up and, you know, get offended by that. He's not a crier. He doesn't whine. You know, everybody else is wrong. If that many people are telling you that he's a crier and he's wrong, you know, he's a whiner, then he really probably is. You know, I've heard it from everybody. Not just Flyers fans, not just Capitals fans. I've heard it from Red Wings fans. I've heard it from a lot of fans of other teams. Okay, so let's just admit it. Sidney Crosby likes to cry and whine a lot to the referees. I'll admit it. And if he would actually spend more time trying to play the game than going to the referees, whining about stuff, I mean, he instigated a lot in the Philadelphia series, and then he would go to the referees when they would do something in retaliation, and, you know, just shut up and play the game, man. You're a great player. A very, very good player. I don't know. It just disappoints me. You know, I'm especially Game 3. Game 3 was just pitiful. His part, everybody's part. Everybody wanted to whine. Everybody wanted to start fights, and yet they'd still lose the fights. But you know, just play the game. I mean, you're making yourself look bad. But anyway, you know, Games 4, Game 5, did a lot better job. Didn't play the little sissy games that we were playing. You know, one Game 4 10-3, one Game 5 3-2. Fleury had better games in those games. Offensively, we were better. We did better on the power plays in those games. And I thought, all right, we got this series turned around. Here we come in Game 6. Game 6 comes, and what happens? we went right back to being suckbags. So lose it 5-1. We didn't deserve to win this series. You know, I figured once we were down 3-0, we were done. And we got it to 3-2, and I thought maybe there was a glimmer of hope. But, you know, watching the first period, well, after the first two periods of the game yesterday, I just knew we were done. So at this moment, Philadelphia looks like they're the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. They look great, really, really good. Western Conference, I think the Nashville Predators, anybody that takes out the Red Wings the way they did, won both games at Detroit. Detroit's always a great playoff team. They just dominated Detroit. So I'm thinking it's going to be Nashville and Philadelphia in the Stanley Cup Finals. And I really would like to see the Senators knock out the Rangers, I think tonight. Yeah. I really don't want to admit it, but I kind of want to see the Capitals knock out the Bruins tomorrow night, and I want to see the Coyotes knock out the Blackhawks, only because I want new blood to win it this year. And if those three teams win and move on, and that means only the Flyers are the only team left that's never won it before. And nothing personal against the Flyers. This doesn't have anything to do with the hatred factor, but I want somebody new to win it this year. And Philadelphia won it back-to-back in the 70s. So it'd be nice to see somebody new, like the Kings, the Predators, the Coyotes. I'm not going to root for a Canadian team, so I won't say the Senators. I can't root for Ovechkin, so I won't say the Capitals either. But, you know, somebody like that, the Panthers, yeah, that's another one. If the Panthers can beat the Devils and knock them out. If all those things can happen, and I just want somebody new to win it. Tired of the same old teams, you know. Besides my own, I don't mind if we win it every year. But somebody new, that'd be great. So, anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll see what happens in the off season. Hopefully, we can keep most of this team intact and get rid of the weak links. Maybe get Fleury to do better at being a goaltender. Hopefully, have Crosby for the whole season next year, and just get this team tougher. I'm tired of them getting hit all the time, and we can't hit back. We're not physical. The only time we want to get physical is in a fight. So anyway, hopefully we can work on that and get this team ready for next year and win Stanley Cup #4 in the 2012-2013 season. But anyway, you guys have a great day, and I will see you again. I don't know if I'll do another hockey video or not, but we'll see. Anyway, if I don't, I'll see you next season. Have a good one, guys.